When I heard that two policemen paid a visit to a grandma, as it was phrased, because she criticised Labour politicians, I assumed she'd said something fruity. I assumed she'd said something inappropriate. A friend said to me about it, and I said, well, I'm sure she said something that she shouldn't have said. She overstepped the mark. She didn't criticise them. She must have said something unpleasant. When people say that someone should be hurt, or someone should be damaged, or someone should be killed, or someone should be endangered, that is and should be illegal. We shouldn't be going round threatening and harassing, and there should be protection to people. But then I read what she said. Now I have to remember this is to do with the WhatsApp group where a Labour MP was suggesting that he hoped a constituent would die because they were complaining about bin collections, and joked about, wouldn't it be funny if that person who rides a bicycle and wants bike lanes gets run over by a HGV? I don't find it remotely funny. I find it very distasteful. I don't think it's threatening or harassing that person. It just shows a nastiness and a contempt. So when I realised this grandma, as they love to call her, had been given a visit, I assumed she might have said something similar to that. Now, if we're to believe the papers, what she actually said was that she hoped the councillor would do the decent thing and stand down. Well, that's not exactly fruity, not exactly nasty, not exactly harassing. In what way is she doing anything they can complain about? Yet two police visited her. Now, I'm not blaming the police officers who went along, because the police officers who went along, a complaint was made and somebody senior told them to investigate it. But whoever made that call clearly wanted police officers to go to an old person's house to scare her, to silence her. What country do we live in? What happened to the policing by consent and protecting the people? We're not a police force, we're a police service. Well, you tell me how this wasn't forcing that grandma to shut up and put up. And who ordered that? Who wanted a grandma to be harassed by the police by telling her that she was harassing someone by suggesting they should have resigned? It doesn't even seem she sent it to that councillor. So this is modern Britain. It used to say that we'd fought wars to have freedom. Well, maybe we shouldn't have fought them, because we don't have freedom if a grandma can be harassed by the police because she doesn't approve of a councillor joking about constituents dying and making unpleasant remarks about constituents, people who live in the area. Race and gender seems to have been a big thing in this WhatsApp group. The whole affair of the WhatsApp group shows an unprofessionalism and an unpleasantness. And the police taking sides, because that is taking sides. I'm sure they're also looking at what was said in that group. But will they get a knock on the door? Will they get the strong arm of the law to make sure that they're gently reminded of their place? No. And who ordered that? Who called for that? And who phoned the police and pointed out it would be a good idea if that woman got a knock on the door? Because somebody did, and I know we'll never know. But it suggests that there's a lack of concern for freedom of speech, lack of concern for freedom of thought, and protecting a politician from criticism, quite frankly, fair criticism, seems to be more important than enforcing real crimes.